Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope they were all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. Before I dive on into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to Tony Edward, Thinking Crypto 1 from the Thinking Crypto podcast. He recently put out a video with David Schwartz. This is an interview talking about the Ripple XRP Ledger, the AMM, the Metaco HSBC, partnerships, CBDCs, and stablecoin pilots and tokenization. There's a lot to unpack in this video. It's about an hour long. If you guys want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to go check his channel out. And also give him a subscribe because he definitely deserves it. There's a lot in this video. And for all those out there that are frustrated with XRP, maybe they're angry about XRP, whatever the case may be, by the end of this video, I hope that this opens your eyes to what's actually happening right now at this current moment in time, especially with a lot of these big moves being made by the institutional players and what it really does mean for XRP and also for Ripple as a company. So let's tap on into the first official clip from, of course, Tony Edwards' podcast. This is from XRP Drops. David Schwartz about the synergy of Ripple and Metaco. We are still in the process of processing. Ripple had strategies that they were working on that required custody. Metaco has layered services. HSBC is a client for this service with compliance. Metaco has the possibility for a tokenization platform, thus integrating with payments and liquidity. We know what Ripple brings to the table. We know what Metaco brings to the table. Obviously, the two of them together is great. But then what's the extra? What's the synergy that you get? Well, check out this clip here.
And I think we're still in the process of processing exactly how the strategic, like Ripple had strategies that they were working on that required custody, but Metaco has so much more than they have those things of layered services with compliance. They have this possibility for a tokenization platform, this integrating it with payments and liquidity. And I think we're still thinking through exactly, we know what Ripple brings to the table. We know what Metaco brings to the table. Obviously, the two of them together is great, but then what's the extra? What's the synergy that you get? I think we're still in the process of figuring out how we can adjust Ripple's strategy and Metaco's strategy to take advantage of what the other can provide. It's going to be interesting to see. I wish I could talk about some of those ideas because they're great, but very little's finalized yet. So that's something. And again, we couldn't really do that until us and Metaco were on the same side of the table.
Sure.
And we're totally willing to give the crazy ideas and the bad ideas as well as the good ones without having to worry about blowing up, a $250 million deal.
Now,
so again, they are working together on a lot of these, they're processing the process, right? So they're trying to come together and create something extremely disruptive for the players that are interested in, of course, both of these companies, because Ripple and Metaco together, I mean, listen, this is an institutional grade infrastructure, and it's a door that is open, and a lot of institutions already walk through. I mean, you have HSBC, BNP Paribas, Citi's already on there as well, which we have been talking about in the past. We don't know if Citi's going to continue utilizing Metaco or not, but there's so many other great players, DZ Bank as well, and the list goes on. But beyond this, right, everyone has been trying to figure out what's going on with these two players. In my opinion, this is just another piece of the puzzle, right? Ripple acquired Metaco for a reason. They understand the value behind Metaco. And even beyond that, right, like they want to have everything all under one roof. They want to make sure that they are fulfilling every single need possible for institutions and for even enterprise grade clients. But beyond this, we also have David Schwartz about stablecoins on the XRP Ledger and the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange. One thing that's been missing on the XRP Ledger DEX is a large number of high quality assets, like a high quality US dollar stablecoin. The Palau stablecoin, which is literally a CBDC, but actually a stablecoin on a decentralized blockchain, a partnership with Stasis, which is the leading Euro stablecoin, one of the top 10 stablecoins globally, Navati, which brings large ERC20 stablecoins like USDC, USDT, and even the Australian dollar stablecoin to the XRP Ledger DEX. One thing that's been missing on the XRP Ledger DEX is a large number of these high quality assets, like a high quality US dollar and Euro stablecoin. Check it out.
That's super exciting. Yeah, so on the stablecoin front, that's mostly happening through the Ripple X side, the XRP Ledger side of Ripple. We've recently announced partnerships with Stasis, which is the leading Euro stablecoin, one of the top 10 stablecoins globally, and Novati, which brings large ERC20 stablecoins like USDC and USDT, as well as an Australian dollar stablecoin to the XRP Ledger DEX. One of the things that's been missing on the XRP Ledger DEX is like a large number of high quality assets. Like there's XRP, and then there's a couple of like medium, and then there's a long tail of interesting stable coins, but not access to not like a high quality US dollar stable coin obviously is extremely important. So, and the Euro stable coins, so that's going to help bring some of those things to the XRP Ledger side. On the CB, that's super.
And, that's one thing that we have mentioned in the past as well. When we look at the Palau stablecoin or even like Stasis with a lot of these big players, right? The thing that a lot of people don't understand is this is a snowball effect, right? They see the success of the Palau stablecoin. They see the success of the Stasis stablecoin. And they even see Novati tapping in heavily with the XRP Ledger. And what do you think all these other players are thinking, right? Beyond that, right? Look at all of the CBDC players that are tapped in with Ripple as well. I mean, I think it was like the last time that I checked, it was 5, right? Which does include, of course, Palau. But also Ripple is in discussion with 20 to 30 central banks. So I could imagine that there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Again, I always mention NDAs, right? Like there's probably a lot of NDAs within the space that a lot of people are not focused on either, which I think that we should be focused on. But also, another great quote over here from David Schwartz. This is a clip. It's 2 minutes and 32 seconds long. In this video, we get a little bit of a glimpse on what David Schwartz is expecting this year. So check this out. This got posted by Digital Asset Investor. Check it out.
What are you looking forward to this year?
Well, regulatory clarity, a resolution to the lawsuit, obviously, would be there is some reasonable chance that Ripple's lawsuit with the SEC will be resolved in 2024. Still could be appeals, I suppose. I mean, whether that would be resolved, I don't know. Big on sort of scaling at the blockchain layer. I think right now people can't really innovate right at the blockchain layer, and technologies like sidechains and some of the zero knowledge proof stuff will enable people to innovate more sort of right at that lowest layer and enable more scalability. Just getting more people into the ecosystem, I think, is the biggest thing. Like we have to create user experiences that are compelling to people. And I'm hoping that we can do that. On the XRP Ledger side, I'm hoping the AMM amendment will eventually activate. Decentralized identity doesn't seem all that controversial. And seeing things like carbon markets and tokenized securities, I think one of the problems, particularly, so like in the United States and in most of Europe, like we're overserved with financial products. Like we have access to everything. Like I can invest in anything I want right on my phone with an app. But there's a lot of people who don't have those opportunities, and they basically their choice is to stuff cash in a mattress or not, right. And giving them access to tokenized securities and giving them access to things like collateralized lending. Obviously, they would be on the. So that's the other interesting thing. So like when you think about collateralized lending or centralized lending, you often tend to think about like rich people having a tax efficient way to like access their crypto profits. That's not super, that's not that's not the way I want to change the world. But if you think about it from the other side of the sort of low risk loan for a person who can get a return who might not have access to other financial products or services, like that's really big, because that's the way you build wealth is by saving up a little bit over a period of time, but it has to compound. Otherwise, inflation is just going to destroy it. So giving people who haven't had an opportunity to build wealth an opportunity to build compounding wealth in a system that can't be regulated away or taxed away by fees and everything that eat into those rich, small fees today, the fees compound too. So those kinds of things are exciting me, and of course institutional adoption. We'll see what the Bitcoin ETFs lead to.
And I do think that we got a little bit of a glimpse into the future here on what David Schwartz is envisioning for the XRP Ledger side. Did you guys catch it? He's talking about major incentivization opportunities, compounding interest, passive income opportunities on the XRP ledger. How are we going to get there? Well, he's talking about tokenized securities. He's talking about things with APY. And all this makes me think about, and he even did mention this in this clip, is the AMM with liquidity pools. This is why I believe that the AMM is going to be an absolute game changer for the XRP ledger, for XRP holders, for XRP itself. Because outside of the real world, right, nobody, and I mean nobody, right now is having a good time hodling dollars. Nobody wants to keep their savings account packed to the ceiling with dollars. Why? Because inflation is eating it away. Beyond that, fees also. There's a lot that goes into the story of hodling dollars, right? We've talked about it in the past. We've addressed how central banks want us to actually lose money. That's where DeFi really becomes a big topic. And also institutional adoption. It's the number one reason why institutions are looking at crypto now, because they have witnessed a large portion of money flowing from the banks to crypto. They understand this. They get it, right? And this is the number one thing that we talked about even back in 2023 with Operation Choke Point 2.0, right? Because the big bankers, they are aware of how big this space is becoming. But also institutional adoption, right? He talked about institutional adoption there, and it really kind of leads me to Roll Match. So Roll Match, if you guys don't know, recently became a partner of Metaco, which is kind of exposed to Ripple. This was the post. We have all cryptocurrencies on Roll Match are handled in segregated blockchain wallets using the Metaco harmonized system, the institutional standard in custody technology in combination with IBM Cloud HyperProtect crypto services, the industry's only encryption service based on a hardware security modular certified to FIPS 142 level 4. And when we actually go over here to the video that got posted by Roll Match on January 3rd, we have financial institutions have faced significant barriers in doing business with cryptocurrencies. Now these banks and securities firms are deploying the same strategies as in traditional markets on Roll Match. And again, this is where tokenized securities really becomes a big focus point. This is also why I believe that David Schwartz was talking about securities and tokenized securities. I think that he also is witnessing the same exact thing. I mean, obviously, this guy's not dumb, right? We all know David Schwartz. He understands where we are headed, especially with the Bitcoin ETFs. It was a big stepping stone. It was a key that unlocked that door for institutional adoption. But there's still a major barrier here. What is it, right? Because we know institutions are coming. We know institutions are showing up. But what is stopping them from going all in? Well, here you guys actually have the big barrier.
Because despite what people say, institutions are coming, in reality, the crypto market has remained generally inaccessible to banks and other financial firms. Why? Well, the entire current crypto trading landscape has grown up out of a quasi-revolutionary ecosystem, primarily for retail clients, and at least initially with little to none regulatory oversight.
So regulatory oversight is the big focus. And this is one thing that I want all of you XRP holders to understand. I understand your frustration. I get your frustration. I understand how extremely frustrating it is to be holding XRP. I've always said it in the past. XRP is not an easy hold. But do you guys remember what we were talking about a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And hell, a lot of you are probably around for a while. And you understand that there was a lot of creators in the past that even said the same exact thing. Once we see mass institutional adoption, I don't think that we're going to have to worry about the price of XRP ever again. And the big thing to note here is that regulations is the last barrier. And we already know over the course of the next year or two, we will have regulations. Now, does that mean that we have to wait a year or two for XRP to be valuable? No. I believe that over the course of the next few months, we will start to see this entire market shift back into overdrive. And we will see a lot of altcoins, including, of course, XRP, have significant runs in the market. But beyond this, definitely focus on Roll Match because they are also leveraging NASDAQ technology with, of course, Metaco. Metaco is a crucial player of theirs. And by the way, if you guys do want to go check out Roll Match and the About section on them, you can. They are accelerating digital asset trading. They are focused on accelerating the trading of digital assets for financial institutions with the best-in-class technology. And guess what? They're tapped in with Metaco. But also look at some of the partners of Roll Match. These are very large players out in the institutional space. So focus on what some of these players are bringing to the table, like Roll Match. And when we go and look over here at Metaco, remember, this is an all-in-one infrastructure layer for institutions. You have global custodians, universal banks, regulated exchanges, neobanks and fintechs, corporates, all of that. And again, you can even see Metaco Harmonize. This is build and scale advanced capabilities in the regulated digital asset industry. These are the types of players like Metaco, right? They are the types of players that are actually a welcome mat for institutions at a time where regulations aren't in this space just yet. This technically is an opportunity for the institutions to get in before regulations. And I do think that that's why we are starting to see a big focus point being put on names like Metaco and even names like Ripple. And you can see some of the big banks just here, BBVA, BNP Paribas, Forge. And also over here, you actually have Deca Bank, DZ Bank, Zodiac Custody, which is Standard Chartered. Also, VP Bank. And the list goes on and on. Guys, I'm telling you, these are the crucial pieces of the puzzle that need to be focused on. And last but not least, I just want to play this clip talking about Ripple, talking about Metaco, talking about HSBC as well. Again, this is from Tony Edward, and this is, of course, David Schwartz.
Ripple trying to be like a sort of one-stop shop for institutional adoption of crypto, and institutions are going to be the main drivers. So you need some place to store it. If there's CBDCs, if there's stablecoins, people are going to need places to store them. They're going to need connections to on-ramps and off-ramps, payments, liquidity services. We looked at many different companies, and then in May, we acquired Metaco. But Metaco has so much more than they have those things of layered services with compliance. They have this possibility for a tokenization platform and this integrating it with payments and liquidity. HSBC, they plan to offer a custody service for digital assets to their clients. It's kind of like a layering service. What's great about that is HSBC can do the sort of compliance part for them. And they're looking at things like digital asset insurance, tokenized commodities like gold, tokenized securities. HSBC is extremely interested in those types of projects. Their Orion project, which was a tokenized gold. Ripple trying to be.
And again, this is exactly what's happening at this point in time. And remember the names that are tapped in on this: Ripple, Metaco, and these big players like HSBC. So as we really look at this point in this market, it's kind of comical that the retail sector is getting impatient, but hey, it wouldn't surprise me that the retail sector gets shaken out again on something like this. Go back to the dot-com bubble, right? Many got shaken out of their positions in Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and Google, you name it, right? And guess what they became? They became $1 trillion plus opportunities. So when we talk about XRP, don't make the same mistakes that the sheep have made in the past. You need to understand where we are at right now in this space. You need to understand that, outside of everything that you hear on a day-to-day basis, the only thing that actually matters is how early we are in this technological revolution. And trust me, don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. Go understand where we are at. Look at the institutional players that are focused in on this space, and go look at some of the moves that have just been made in the last 6 months by institutions. Go look at what Larry Fink has been telling everyone on mainstream media. And I know that we can't trust Larry Fink, but think about it, right? Tokenization, things like that. The reason why Larry Fink and these big institutions are already talking about it is because they've already picked and chosen their players. Like, for an example, Ripple with the XRP Ledger, Hedera, Stellar, you name it. Franklin Templeton already tapped in with Stellar. So they know, they are aware, they get it. That's why they are here. That's why they are talking about it. That's why we have witnessed a spotlight being put on crypto in the beginning of this year, but also going all the way back to 2023. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.